So you have 6 profiles in the ACA 500 Plus, and if you don't want to check them out with F10 like before, you can just press the number key for them. So here we are, and the first thing I'm going to do is find Disk Master. So my files, where are you? So of course I don't see any icons. Show all files. I guess 1.3 doesn't have show all files. So how do I do this? And the answer should be to open a shell and do it from there. So let's do that first of all. I apologize for the poor, well, the TV isn't quite straight. It's happened lately. I don't know the cause. Might be capacitors. Object. Oh, you can tell that I'm stuck in my Workbench 2 days, 3.1 days. I don't know. So Disk Master. There we go. Very nice program by Greg Cunningham. So, are we here? My files. Here's all the good stuff. So, what's first then? Twintris, I guess. So that's how I navigate to that, but I don't know how I could. I'd have to create an icon for each of these things. Feels like such a noob. Well, I could navigate to it and start from there. And there's nothing in S that it would need. And the way I start it is by typing conspiracy. So let's exit out of that and CD Games, CD Twintris, and conspiracy. Well, let's see how this fares. Tries to load from the floppy drive. So that is not going to work. This particular crack is not at the moment Workbench compatible, and it will not let me get back to Workbench. Right, reboot. While I check what you have typed here on YouTube. So do you have a solution for the icon crisis? Alright, so I think it's in main, right? I'll give it a try. Seems to multitask fine. Let's try a simple program. You probably recognize this. No errors. Yay. I made it. So that works. So, well, I wouldn't want to turn off the OS while I'm in Workbench, and I don't have my sources right now because the only card I have inserted is this bare bones 1.3 install, which I'm trying to my best to expand right now. So I guess, I don't know. So that would be this register. Don't have any include files either. Hey, what is going on? And I don't know what this color is. I could probably go into the hex editor and look at exec base to find out, find the copper list and so on, but I'm just gonna pretend that I know the color value. No idea if this is gonna work, but anyway, it did. So, well, I'll try the debugger. So this is gonna loop forever because the odds of hitting the conditional instruction exactly at that scan line is slim to none. So, but it does seem to work in Workbench 1.3. I think it has some problems with later modes like RTG and productivity modes, the 1K by 1K mode, and probably super high res as well. But if you do have an RTG card, it should be able to at least switch to it gracefully if you run something on it, or if you have a 2-monitor setup or a multi-sync monitor, you should be able to get into RTG for your for the game or demo that you're coding, and get back safely to a classic Workbench, i.e. a classic screen mode. High Puff helped me debug that, or test that, I should say. All right, what's next? Protractor. You can tell that I'm pretty much a demo scene guy. Since these are my first choices, I just wanted to check if it would start and exit gracefully. Don't think I can drag it down or anything. I should be able to use Amiga M and N and so on. Yeah. So it looks like I can use this Protractor 2.3D under Workbench 1.3 and get back safely. No promises about, you know, if you have a mod player running in the background. I'm not sure that this old version uses the correct audio device to check if it can use all the channels. Probably just takes over the channels and so on. But anyway, so far so good. So how do I solve that Twinterest problem? I might actually go into ASM2 and take a look at it. So I'm going to read what I'm assuming is a binary, or it could be a script. Either way, I'm going to read binary. I don't have requester library, that's a good idea for expansion. Conspiracy, that's the file in startup sequence. I'm going to load that to this address, take a look at it. It is a binary, it's not a script file, so debug that. What does this do? Oh, absolute. It just takes that address, takes a vector address, and lets hell break loose, it looks like, and a jump to an absolute address. So there's virtually no hope by starting it that way. We can run the intro, check that out. If that is friendly, there's also some interesting Dr. No files. So I would like to test what happens if I execute Razor 00. And if that fails, I'll run the intro and try to find maybe a Workbench compatible version of Twintris. I haven't played Twintris. It might very well be a non-Workbench game. Like SimCity is a Workbench game. You can double click an icon, run it, but maybe Twintris is not, because there are no icons on this disk. Could also be an optimized floppy version without the Workbench hoopla that Razor made. Who knows? So Razor 00. Does seem to be executable. Let's check this out. Okay, so this is the intro for the game. So presumably the biggest file will give me the German. What the heck? I have an English version of Workbench. Might be something with the CF card then. Either way. Let's have a look at this. That's the one, Razor 02, and perhaps there's an end part there that will maybe not be loaded, but okay. The hammer and the scythe, a symbol of the former Soviet Union. So that was just the intro, and probably won't let me progress to Razor 02, which is the file I think I want to run. So let's have a look at the intro. So this is a small intro, an ad for a BBS that you could call to download this once upon a time when things were really illegal. So I could format a floppy disk and copy the files over, and probably it would work. I don't want to do that in this short live stream because I want to move on to suggestions. So let's check what you've commented here. Someone asked about multitasking, and multitasking really means multitasking on Amiga. It was one of the first computers that had proper multitasking as we know it today. It also had the first motherboard that had a sort of a south and north bridge as we know them today. So yeah, it really means that the more powerful your CPU, the more programs you can run at the same time, and they would switch. They would switch simply, and the print routines would run in the background and so on. So ahead of its time. Someone suggested to use the locale application to set your region. Not sure that 1.3 has the same env. Someone suggested happy env as well. But probably that's a good idea, so let's do that. Let's set up my locale. Clean up. So that's me being a noob. 1.3. Don't see any locale in here. Might run some. That's my real name, the real world. On the dark side, on the photon of ScoopX. Well, it's like that. So, does it get the... obviously, I don't think it's past midnight, right? So, presumably, I haven't used set clock to set my clock in a while, and that's why the RTC is not working. So, the ACA 500 Plus has a bunch of modes to detect the RTC, which RTC to use. I have an RTC with a fresh battery on my trapdoor memory expansion, and I've set my ACA 500 Plus to use that. But as probably most of you know, after a while they do get out of sync. We could have fun with, say, the launches. Not sure what's up with that. Can I have some suggestions? Why doesn't say launch? Or is it behind another window perhaps? I don't think so, but might have a look. Nope. Well, if you feel some hate for me already and think I'm a noob, please share in comments, because I deserve it. To be fair though, I haven't touched this stuff in, well, since I was 16, 17. Those were the times when it all happened. So, graphic dump print files, install printer, I don't think so. Does calculator start? Yes it does. 75 times 25, how much? Quickly, quickly, before it answers. How much is that? 1400, something like that. Okay, a little more, but I trust the computer. Das Computer ist okay. Okay, Computer. So more is like a type command where you can open text files. I can do that for now. So locale, you say. Who said that? Dave, I think it was. Dave said locale. I did install extras. If I don't see locale, it may be a missing icon, but I did not have any read-write errors on the disk, so not sure about that. Setmap is good. It's a classic 1.3 utility, which I still use today. So you can basically, program a string and connect it to a key. It's like one of those macro programs for your PC that gamers use. So you could bind the key F to Alt-Shift F10 if you liked. Something like that anyway. And it wouldn't, that particular example would not be very useful, because every time you typed an F you'd get Alt-Shift F10. But I know I've used this a bunch I think I use it to connect the F keys to move.l d0, move.l d1, and so on. Don't use it that much nowadays, but it's a useful tip. Fix fonts. What's that? That's not launching either, so might there be a very long file name that the FAT file system doesn't handle, or containing some character that it doesn't like, or something like that? I wonder. So Sacred Banana says you need some libraries for say. I would think that would be included with the Workbench, but I'll definitely look that up. Because if I install 1.3, I definitely need say working, because it's, well, part of this is a nostalgia trip, and say is certainly one of those. So the system and utilities, we got prefs, not so much in here. See what you can set up. Yeah, this is what I use actually even today. Before Workbench 2.0, you could have a file called system configuration, which this program saves when you click save. And that goes in devs usually. But you can also put it in the root if you don't if you don't want to create a devs directory. So you can create a system configuration like this, save it, and copy it to a floppy, for example, to set the colors and everything else to create, for example, a pack disk or a release or something like that. So it wouldn't all have to be the exact same Workbench colors as when you format it. And especially you can set 80 column mode. So I definitely want that short and this fast, so that's correct. And I can change my pointer, but I'm definitely not going to do that. I like it just the way it is, thank you. And well, there isn't much else, is there, to play with at the moment. Tools, oh yeah, Emacs, to write scripts. This gives us a memory map, presumably. I run that. So that's what you get free if you use this profile on ACA 500 Plus. How do I exit this? The hell? I can hide it, but it'll end up back there. So I was assuming this thing closed it. So let's let that multitask in the background and perfmon. Never click on the white rabbit object, guys. Never, never. And then I clicked on the white rabbit object. Anyway. So this is a performance monitor, as the name would suggest. I've actually never seen that or used that. Interesting. So I can set the palette if I want. What's this? Key toy. So this is something like set key. So presumably this came, I'm thinking set key was the one included in Workbench 1.3, and this is the version for 1.3.3. Could that be correct? Don't know. But what you do is, for example, bind Control A. Okay, doesn't work the same way. Do I press A? No. No menus. Well, as you can see, I'm lost completely. Is it a keyboard tester? I don't know. I'm making such a fool of myself. Icon merge. That's a merge or split. I'm gonna go with split. Enter all icon file names without .info. Okay, that's over my head, so I'm gonna press enter there. Press return to exit, thank you. And here's my icon editor. Wonderful. So how about making an icon for Disk Master first of all? So I'm going to select this. So do I I'm going to convert this to a floppy disk, alright. Let's see if right click works. Okay, so where's my palette? If you know it's going to be a hack job, because I will have to go to bed soon. So can I flood fill? I want to use probably this color. Flood fill. There you go. So now I'm gonna make this look like a disk, right? I'm terrible at this. That doesn't look like a disk. And so that's what I wanted to do. Should be there, right? So now it's, well, that will have to do. So I want this orange, and I want like a slit here, something like that, and I want something like that, and it's not square, so I should make it square. Bear with me, guys. So now that's at the wrong position, so I'll have to do this and this. Actually, I do hope I can save this after. So now I want to fix this. Probably I should do this. Something like that. And I want to do this. This. Alright, not very pretty. So let's invert that. Oops. And do this. Better? I don't know. Probably something like this instead. If und genug. Something like that. I wish I could move that up to the top left corner, but don't know how to do that right now. Says I did see something here before. Move. In frame, exchange with frame. Weird. So I want to copy this from frame. Whoops. Don't want to be doing that. Copy from frame 1, right? And then I want to invert the colors, perhaps. No idea how this program works. So that's 2 states. Why do I have 9 states? I have no idea. But disk save data. I want to save a .info file, don't I? Anyway, let's deal with that later. So I can frame it, and it will add .info. So hopefully I can do it like this. My files, diskmaster.info. Whoops, it says .info will be added. So I want to frame this and save, right? Hold your thumbs. So I should be able to drag this. Whoops. So presumably that saved it, and I missed it by 1 pixel, so frame and save. There you go. Whoops, all my frames disappeared. And now I just overdrew the thing there. So let's repair the damage. Luckily it only affected 1 frame. Why won't you clear the pixel? There you go. So I'm not going to frame this. I'm going to save it as it is for now, just to move on. There you go, save full image. So now I'm very interested in seeing if I just created an icon in my files. There you go. So I'd have to edit the tool type of this, right? To make it point to disk master, don't I? Haven't done this either any time in my life, but there's a time for everything. So what if I double click this? Will it launch disk master? Well, there you go. Goes by the name, and no tool types have to be added. But does it say disk master? It does. It's offset a hell of a lot, but I'll fix that later. Alright, so what else is there? Oh, gratuitous boing while I check comments. Alright, so suggestions are Turbo Imploder with music by Paul van der Valk. I said that in a German accent, he's not German. But anyway, so that's next up, and what else? We've made, I know how to make icons now. I'm gonna make that icon better for sure. So general question, in Workbench 2.0 and later, you'd have this program called install, or installer, I should say, which ran a script. And this program got updated with the Workbench revisions and Kickstart revisions, and to make it work to install the software. But on 1.3, I don't know if there was such a thing. So, because I don't think AREX was around in 1.3, right? So, and the installer runs an AREX script, if I'm not mistaken. So what was the usual way to install games into Workbench and make the icons appear and so on? Granted, I just ripped the files off an ADF that I found. So I mean, the original might look completely different with the usual C devs, S, libs, etc. structure, and you just copy all the stuff over and it worked. So I'm assuming that that's the way to install floppy games into Workbench 1.3 on a hard disk, or a CF card in this case. But if that's if that's incorrect, then just shout in the comments, because it's been a little too many years since I did 1.3, and I've never really booted 1.3 off a hard disk in my life. So all the help you can share is appreciated. I'm sorry. I do have the juggler and kaleidoscope and etc. discs. Actually, I have kaleidoscope right here. Yeah. I did not have kaleidoscope near me, so I'd have to rummage for that. I think that was already in 1.2, wasn't it? So this was Electronic Arts. So I might do that. Well, who needs me to show kaleidoscope? Anyone can run it, but it would be nice for me to see it running, so I'll do it for myself and take some more suggestions. Okay, PC utilities already in 1.3, that's interesting. Alright, so this would be probably for the, what's it called? There was a there was a card for Amiga 2000 and there was a sidecar expansion for Amiga 500, both Zorro with an Intel CPU write that allowed you to run some of the PC software, and probably you could copy files to and from PC formatted floppies with these utilities. FD, basic FD files. What is FD? Can someone answer? FD, floppy drive? I don't think so. Basic FD files here. Don't know what that is. Commodore should know. They made this disk. So fonts, well, we probably don't have that many fonts. That will be corrected when I install Deluxe Paint, which I will need for general purpose. So yeah, there isn't many more folders that I can explore here. So back to suggestions then. What comes next? What should I install? I'm gonna have to end the live stream because I feel that I'm getting tired. As it is, my cat is telling me that it's time to go to bed. That's right, Alexis. It's time to go to bed soon. Yep. I'd love to play a song or something before and I end the stream. So I'm gonna transfer a module. I'm gonna actually test the hot swap ability. Once the system is booted, you can hot swap cards in the spare slot only on ACA 500 Plus. So I'm gonna just pull out my hard disk No innuendo now. And now I'm going to insert the hard disk, hot swap, and let's see if the AC500 Plus is indicating that it's read the drive. I will probably have to close one window at least and go to my files. I'm going to check. Do I have an icon for the folder? That's the question. But that doesn't really matter because I can run again. You have to adjust to 1.3. I know this. And let my... So I haven't assigned ST000, so I'm gonna have to go to sys:" my files. And I'll just have to rename that file because this tracker wants a mod in front of it. So what? Well, that didn't tell me much. I need to do this. Right. There you go. And I don't want to do that, I want to do this. And I'll have to do this. There you go. And again. That worked better. Alright, guys, thanks for watching my first ever live stream, and let's end it with this nice tune by Any7 of Skupix.